Hi again, everyone. This is Victoria McMahon. I'm here with Lori Candon. I'm an advocate with the Language of Consciousness Institute, and Lori and I are deep collaborators in bringing programming through the Institute. Lately, we've been talking about Soma and what it means to live as a somatic being. So today, we'd like to explore with you this idea of that Lori mentioned to me that really stuck with me. This idea of truing, that when we are in our true essence of who we are, we feel that deep connection and we feel aligned to life as we're living the moments of our days. And then something may occur that we respond or react to what may feel dissonant for us. And Lori and I noticed that we each kind of have this conditioned tendency to respond in very different ways. So for me, if something feels dissonant, like in a relationship with someone else, I may have this natural tendency to kind of go inward and say, how did that happen for me? What might I have done that created dissonance, or that I responded from my own internal being of dissonance, and I overreacted in my own psyche around it. And that I'm trying to find my way back to how I'm deeply connected to who I am and how I can then be in a response from my full being, from my mind language, from my emotion language, from my body language, that is on behalf of me, on behalf of others, on behalf of life. So we're bringing those three aspects of Soma that we've talked about before: mind language, emotion language, and body language. And what often I notice is that one or all three of those language aspects of the Soma uh, gets wonky, for lack of a more technical term. That dissonance, that it interrupts that fluid alignment that I more often than not have in my life. Um, and so Lori, chime in a little bit how it is for you in those dissonant moments.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I would say definitely just due to history and experiences up until this new now moment, um, there's been the external going outward um, in reaction to the dissonance. So it's what are they doing? It's their fault. There's the judgment, there's the mind, there's their separation, us versus them type of thing. And being aware and cognizant of that, it definitely has lessened now, but that's my first go-to. And really tapping in to the life within and connecting to the life creates the space to be with more life. And operating from that sovereign way of being, that whole system response, rather than in the pull this way or that way, or the push, if you will. So it's all the other ways of being in relationship. So what I like to practice, definitely through a seated meditative type practice. I do it through moving and Tai Chi, yoga, Qigong, dance, is finding that still point within, that pause within, and allowing the languaging, whether it's the mind languaging, the emotion languaging, the body languaging, to rise up from that impulse to be seen, if you will, or to become visible as an expression of who I am, where I am at any given moment. And with that, or I would, well, maybe with that, in relationship to another, I find that when I'm in that place, others can true themselves to their own that place within themselves. And there's nothing that has to be done, or there's,
Can I bring you back a moment?
yeah, yeah.
I got a real visceral body response to something you said, and I'd love to, like, as we do, unpack the soma a little bit, just in a moment. When you spoke to how we true ourselves, the truing experience of who we are, you also added for you that it was about being in your sovereign nature, you become visible. And when I heard you use that particular languaging, I noticed your voice changed. And I noticed that there was some emotional languaging that was rising, right?
Yeah.
So this is how we take a moment to define those aspects of soma. Could you talk about the experience of that emotional language that was presencing?
God love you, Victoria. You don't miss a thing. I've been exploring that my entire life, really. And having that deep connection to my core being, it creates this relationship to my longing. And it's happening again. Being in the relationship to my longing is scary, is like I'm curious, I am longing, like I'm moving towards that. And the emotional aspect, the threading for me is it really possible? Can I truly live from the awesomeness of life that flows through me? And the short answer to that is yes. We all can. And discovering how we tap into that for ourselves is powerful. And the offers that Victoria and I are creating are all about just tapping into your own radiance in whatever languaging you use for that. And it's beautiful. I'm like, oh my God.
Okay, my friend. One more question.
Sure.
As you trued yourself into emotional language and the longing to be fully present emotionally with the body, with the mental mind languaging of that, do you have any way of honoring or saying how you registered that sense of truing yourself in the emotion as you were speaking of it? Do you have a way that you could mark that in this moment for us?
My whole body is lit up. Like I am literally vibrating. And I just came off this 4-day beautiful training, polarity training, and really being in contact with that life was like, wow, and yeah, yeah. And my
Yeah.
languaging, my mental mind thinking languaging shifts too. It shifts more to life generating, unity, inclusion, being with. Um, so I track all three of those aspects all the time.
And here's the beauty of what just happened in a short conversation, that you were able to presence through staying open to the emotional language, that something was rising in your whole system.
Mm-hmm.
And that emotional language, given a place, created a connection of the mental mind to be supported, that it was a mind language of connection. And the body response that you shared was the truing of the body in connection to the emotional. So all three aspects of Soma presented themselves through this one little experience.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like this gem in the moment that occurred that explains another way in which we operate as a whole system, interweaving, interrelating, interdependent, and and the power and potency that you and I both know that trues us to our own sovereign essence is the power of the collective, be it two of us in conversation now or a whole group of us that we're wanting to generate with you guys and join us in the exploration. And I'm so tickled, tickled pink.
I'm used to being the lab
That we could bring this forward in the moment. This is the organic nature of how we operate as somatic beings, and that we'd love to come and play with you all in bringing your somatic being nature and how you organically organize your system, right? Um, and that's why we keep coming on and saying, please come and play with us. We're curious, we're interested in what you bring. Like, we know how to play in this together, but we want more people in the playpen at the park, in the sandbox, you know what I mean? So that we can just have more fun with
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
So Lori, can you give all the details of the dates and everything that are coming up that people can join in with us and play?
Yes, hopefully. So on Thursday, the 13th of 16th, sorry. Thursday, the 16th of March from 9 to 10 Mountain Time.
AM.
AM, yes, yes. Thank you. 9 to 10 a.m. Mountain Time. We'll be in conversation. It's a free conversation about what is exploring Soma. And following that event, for, we're looking at the art of unpacking Soma. And it's how do you just keep deepening that relationship with yourself and allowing that relationship with ourselves to radiate outward. It's we all can do it, and it's I invite you into the curiosity.
And that's a 4-week experience where we unpacked a moment in time together today. So it could happen just like that, or it could be another version. But each week of the 4-week unpacking series, the first 3 weeks are unpacking the mind language and how it's different from mental thinking that we're used to. I got to go here and do this, da, 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 da. Right. And then the next week, we unpack what it means to true in our emotional language, like Lori just showed us, the experience of the emotional language rising and being nourished by the other languages in a whole system way. And then the third week is the body language, which she clearly registered in her experience and shared with you what was occurring in the physical body, in the energy of the body, in the way in which you experience yourself as a living being. And then the final week, we want to do that interweaving, like what Lori and I just kind of did in the moment, to bring all 3 of those systems into their unique relationship with one another and how it informs us in choosing what's next, in what we talked about, in finding the truing of ourselves, that point in which we operate in our pure sovereign nature of joy. And for me, that's the nature of joy. And like you said, living life fully.
Yes. So you can register at www.loc-institute.com. Go to the events page, or it should be right there. It's a free event, so come join us and play.
We'll see you on the 16th. Bye.